Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about cell phones. We'll be reading some comments on an article and maybe watching a short YouTube video. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hi, hello. Fine, thank you. How are you?
How did your week go?
Fine, normally, regularly.
All right. That's good. No news is good news.
Yes. Yesterday was a party day in Spain.
Why?
First
Holiday?
day, first day of May, worker day, a
Oh, how
worker day.
cool. Very cool. So you had a little time off and some fun?
Yes,
And today are
but
you back to work?
no, I am I unemployed, man.
Okay, so
I
every day
had
is.
party all day. Yes,
Yes, excellent. All right, well, it's good to have you in class, Daniel.
thank you.
Paulo, welcome to class.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Paulo.
Okay, I'm fine. You?
Good, how are you? Oh,
I'm fine. Just uh, a bit depressed, down in the dumps because the weather here is a bit foggy, and how can I say, rainy.
and what city are you in right now?
Bologna.
Okay. Wow. So the weather is a little sad outside?
Yes, yeah, sad. Can I say muddy? No,
Muggy?
muddy. Muggy, maybe, yeah, humid,
Mm,
muggy.
exactly, muggy. Ooh, that's not good. Well,
Okay.
hopefully it will get better for the weekend.
Yes, I hope so.
Raphael, welcome to class.
Hi, Michaela.
Hi, Raphael. I like your new profile picture.
Yes, I'm always changing.
It looks like you're on the beach and I don't know, like there's a stage behind you.
Yes, it was a race I participated. It was on the beach, so
Cool. Wow.
yes, it was fun, and I
Sounds
took
beautiful.
I took some pictures.
Very cool. Well, I like it. And good to have you in class, Raphael.
Thanks.
Donald, welcome to class.
Hello, teacher.
Hi, Donald. How are you?
I'm good.
Have I had you in class before?
No, it's my first time today
All
with you.
right. It's good to meet you. Where are you from, Donald?
I'm from Panama.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
And how's the weather in Panama right now?
The weather, okay, it's sunny and a little hot, not much.
Hot. Okay. So in Panama, are there four distinct seasons, or is it more like it's warm and a little cool, but not so much like really a
Okay,
cold winter?
I don't know how to call about season, but only we are two stations, maybe raining and sunny.
Ooh. And which one is this? The sunny season?
Is okay. It's beginning rainy season, but right now
Ah.
it's sunny.
All right. Well, it's good to have you in class, Donald.
Thank you.
So today we're talking about cell phones, and we have some conversation questions, and we're going to be reading some comments from other people around the world about how we should deal with cell phones in social situations. And my first question is about appropriate situations. So I want to know from you guys, when is an inappropriate time for people to use their cell phones? And I'm going to start on the left with Daniel. Tell me, when's an inappropriate time to be on your phone?
Uh, when when you are alone, I think
When you're
when you are
alone?
alone, it's a good time, no?
Oh yeah, sure.
Bec-
So when you're by yourself,
Because
it's good.
yes, by yourself. Okay.
And when
When
is it
you're
inappropriate?
inappropriate. Sorry. I okay, okay. Inappropriate. When you are with another people, when you are looking after your children,
Mhm.
when you're having lunch or dinner with your wife or your friends.
All right. So there's a lot of inappropriate times.
Yeah, for me, yes.
Okay, thanks, Daniel.
It's impolite
For
to.
sure.
Mm,
I think lots of people would agree with you.
yes.
Donald, when do you think it's inappropriate to use your cell phone?
Okay, it's inappropriate to you in the table when people are eating, or someone is talking or doing a lecture, maybe.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Does it make a difference if it's texting or talking, like with your voice? Or is it all the same?
And can you repeat, teacher?
Do you think it makes a difference if someone is texting on their phone or if they're actually talking with their voice?
Okay, I think both are bad. When someone is someone are eating on the table or talking.
All right, so for you it's the same. Thanks, Donald.
Okay.
Paulo, when do you think it's an inappropriate time to be on your cell phone?
I think the worst time to chat or talk in public is when you are on board in a public transports, like in a bus or a metro.
Ooh, that's a good
Be-
one.
because I think is such a tiny space there, so I think it could annoying um, most, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
more than in other situation. At
Is this
least,
something you see frequently?
yes, in Italy, yes, because a lot of people like talking anywhere. Because we like a lot talking about nonsense subject and
Mm-hmm.
like sharing our affects and and problems.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
yes, so it's easy to find this kind of situation on a bus or what can I say? Where on a stop bus.
A bus stop?
A
Mm-hmm.
bus stop, yes. Yes.
Definitely. Where there's lots of people and everyone's on their phone doing something.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Raphael, what do you think is an inappropriate situation to be on your phone?
I think so. Some people use this as an argument just to not talking to someone. Maybe someone is bothering you, and you try to, and look for some excuses just for try not talking to her or to the person. It's a it's a kind of sometimes it can be rude with someone. It could, in my opinion, it's bad behavior.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It can be rude for sure. So, I've got one more question for you guys before we read some comments, and that is, has anyone gotten mad at you for being on your phone before? So, we all said that there are inappropriate situations for using your phone, and I will admit that even though I don't like when other people are on their phone, there are some times when I'm the one that's being rude and texting someone or talking on my phone, in the bus or at dinner or something. So, have you guys ever made a mistake and been on your phone at a time that was rude? I'm going to go the opposite direction, starting with Rafael this time. Rafael, do people ever get mad at you for being on your phone when you shouldn't be?
Well, once when I was working, there was a meeting and there's a conference. We need to pay attention in the conference, but my cell phone rang, and I had to answer because I was expecting an important call for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Some people didn't like it, but I had to answer the phone, and I said I'm sorry afterwards, but no one complained me. They just look at me, with their faces, with their angry faces, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes a situation will force you, for sure. All right. Paulo, has
Yes.
anyone gotten mad at you for being on your phone when you shouldn't be?
Yeah. I nowadays happen every day that when other people are eating with me, I often use my smartphone, but I used to tell off. I think 3 or 4 years ago, I used to complain, tell off my colleagues because I didn't have a smartphone, and I used to say them that is not so polite using or texting when someone is eating. But I'm doing worse now. So so I think we are all the same.
Yeah, it's really an addictive technology, those smartphones.
Yes, I didn't want to buy a new one, a smartphone, because I know about this kind of addiction. But my wife pull when pull me into it. Can I use this expression? Pull me
Sure,
into
yeah.
it.
She pulled you into it.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
right.
she can't complain. Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
Complain on me or with me? With me.
Complain to you or
Ah,
about you.
uh-huh. Okay, fine.
True, so it's her fault.
Yes.
Okay. Donald, how about you? Has anyone ever yelled at you for being on your phone at an inappropriate time?
Anyone? Okay, for me, sometimes I use my cell phone in a proper time. For example, when I'm with a friend, uh, I texting for a long time. She get angry with me because I don't give enough attention.
Mm-hmm. That does make people angry. Was it important work you were doing on your phone?
No, uh, it's more tough.
Yeah, we're all guilty of that sometimes. Just you get sucked into your phone and you can't get away.
Yeah.
All right. And Daniel, give us a time when you were inappropriately on your phone and people were mad at you.
One time I forgot to mute my phone in the cinema.
So did everyone go,
It
boo?
it start it start to ring my smartphone.
Hmm.
People don't tell me anything, but his eyes look at me directly, straight to me.
All right. Yeah, that's a bad time to have your phone on. All right. So,
In the beginning the film, it says you mute your phone, and
mm,
I forget. I
I've
forgot.
done that before myself. Sometimes you forget and then you feel guilty later.
Ah, A quick question. Have you ever pretended to be talking on the phone just not to talk to someone?
Interesting question. Has anybody in here done that? I bet some of you have. I have for sure. In fact, sometimes if I know that somebody, like say a neighbor or a friend, is going to talk a lot and I don't have time, I'll set an alarm on my phone so that we're talking, and after 10 minutes, my alarm will go off, and I'm like, oh, so sorry, I have to take this. Have to go, bye. I've definitely done that before. Nobody else has done that before? Rafael, what about you? You asked the question. Have you done that before?
Just sometimes I had to do this. Unfortunately, I'm guilty.
Yeah, it's a tempting way to avoid certain conversations.
Yes.
All right. I put
I don't. What it means, don't up?
Huh?
What it means, don't up? Don't up?
Turn up?
I don't know what it means. Don't up.
Done up?
I don't know
D-O-N?
what to talk.
Done up like this?
No, I don't know what. What are you asking?
Well, we were talking about how it's tempting to use your phone as an excuse.
Okay.
And
I understand.
All right. Oh, I put an article in the chat box for you guys, and this article.
Sorry. Can you put this article as well in the Hangouts chat? Is it possible?
It should be in both. Oh, you mean like a screen share? Yes.
Because I've got an iPad, so I've got some problems.
Of course, no problem.
Sorry.
Actually, it will be easier. Yeah. It will be easier this way too, because I'm going to ask you guys to skip the article, because the article is about what we've been talking about. It's about appropriate and inappropriate times to be on your phone. So I thought it would be interesting for us to read some of the opinions of other people. I have picked out about 9 or 10 comments. So below the article, let me show you. So we've got the article that says what to do with your smartphone while you're having dinner. And we're going to skip all this. We're going to skip these other stories and come down to the comments. We're going to talk about some of these comments today and read them together. So the first comment by Lane Cantor, that should be on the screen share, I'm going to ask, how about Daniel? Will you read that first one for us? Oops, sorry. Here we go.
I'm all in. Turn them off at mealtime, at social gatherings, in class, etc. Basically, if you can't enjoy your life roles without the virtual context, there is dysfunction. They are supposed to support your life, not become it. Clearly, this is outside of emergency.
Excellent. So she's very strict. She says, turn them off at meal times, and if you find that you cannot do that, then there must be something wrong with you. She says there's dysfunction. There's something wrong with you if you can't turn your phone off at meal times. Do you guys agree with her?
Yes, completely.
So you guys think that she's totally right because it's something simple that you should be able to do?
I see.
Right.
I agree.
All right. Good to hear. We have a response to her comment. Go ahead.
Just a question. Sorry.
Yeah. What's that?
About if you can scroll up. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No problem.
Because I don't manage to. Yes, Mm. The part where is? This is what does it mean? Life not become hit. Life with slash not. Life slash not. They are supposed to support your life not become it. There?
Oh, sorry. I was
Okay.
muted there.
Oh.
Yeah, she says at the end, she says they are supposed to support your life. And as a side note, she says not become your life. So it's very different that they
Uh-huh.
should only be helpers, not your whole life.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You agree with her?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. All right. We're going to read the next comment as well by Moltar. And this one I'm going to ask Donald to read for us.
Okay, teacher, I'm sorry. Agree that phones hold no place at a dinner table. Only you are expecting a call and have informed everyone at the table that you may have to answer an incoming call during dinner. What I have come to do with my family and friends is everyone that has an electronic device had to surrender it and put it in the middle of the table face down with silent vibrate enable or simply power off. No one is allowed to touch the phone. The first person to touch their phone pick up the tab for the whole table. It's really easy to not mess with your phone if there is some time or incentives attached to it.
Thank you very much. So here, this writer says that there should be a punishment for using your phone at a mealtime. You should have to pay for the table's dinner, pay for their drinks, pay for everything if you touch your phone while people are eating with you. Do you guys agree that that's a good punishment?
It's a good way to to win.
Yeah, it makes pretty good motivation.
uh,
Uh,
uh, do you agree, teacher?
I agree with certain people. I think I know specific friends who just have a terrible addiction and they can't help themselves, and I think that would be appropriate. However, I think that would be like once every month, not like every night for dinner. I think it might be a little extreme to use every single day.
Yeah, I think so, teacher.
Any other comments or questions on this short
uh,
response we have?
is that what picks up the tab means? You have to pay for all the bills of the table.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you pick up the tab, it means that you pay. The tab would be like the bill. So that means you pay the bill for everybody.
Okay.
All right. Our next comment we'll read is by Rock Trimlove.
Sorry. A tab
Yeah,
means
question?
table. In this case, tab means table.
No,
Tab.
tab would mean the bill.
Ah,
So
bill.
at the end of the meal, they give you a sheet that lists everything you purchased, and that's the tab.
Uh-huh. Is more American than.
I think so, but I'm not sure if they use this in the UK, but
No, I don't think.
in the US it's common.
Uh-huh.
Could be an Americanism. Any other questions or comments on this last response we read? This one up here?
No.
All right. Then the next one we're going to read is by Rock Trimlove. And it's this one right here. This one's a pretty short one. It's for Paulo. Paulo, will you read this one for us?
Fine, sure. No one talks on the phone anymore, and even if they do, they don't eat at the dinner table. This is about texting and surfing the web at dinner. What are you? 18? 80. What does it mean? What are you? 80.
So when he says, "What are you, 80?" he's saying, "You must be so old that you don't understand what young people like and what young people do. You must be 80 years old."
Okay.
So he's bringing age difference into the conversation, which I think is really interesting because there are sometimes differences in ideas based on age. Paulo, do you think that age makes a difference in how people treat their phones and think about what's rude and polite?
Yes, I think could be different. The way the people use their phones, because young people are more addicted than elderly. I think it's normal because all people are not so used to using this kind of tools, this kind of devices. So it's normal that is a problem just for young people. Young people,
Definitely.
I mean, young people mean that nowadays are 40 years old or so.
Okay, so you think that 40 and below make a
Yes.
difference in how they treat their phones, and everyone above
Yeah,
is a little
because
more conservative?
because they can exploit a lot about this smartphone. Instead, elderly people can't use in in an appropriate way this kind of devices. So they don't manage to appreciate these new technologies.
Yeah, I think you could be right there. Raphael, do you agree? What do you think about this generational difference?
I think it's true. The last thing you look in the last functionality you see in a cell phone before buying it, if it can make phone calls. You look for all other functionalities without maybe overlooking his phone call. If you look for it has MP3, if you can take pictures and you can access Facebook and Gmail and other everything. The last thing you look for on a cell phone is it can make phone calls. So I think it's true. People don't talk in phones anymore. They just messaging and using WhatsApp and other stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that the whole point of a phone is to make calls, but a lot of people don't use them for that very much anymore.
Yes.
All right, Daniel, what do you think about this generational difference? Do you think it makes a big difference or not so much?
There are a lot too much different. They grow up with new technology, and they don't they don't they don't know uh, they don't know to live without phone and PlayStation, computer, uh, playing in the street. I think I think the young people have a problem with a smartphone. It's an an addiction for
Yeah, it's
them.
like a disease of the younger generation.
Yes.
All right. And Donald, what do you think? Do you agree the same thing? Disease?
No, I don't agree with this thing. I think the people in this generation who are being doing the same like us, but um they are no cell phone in this generation in 18. I love Facebook. I love texting, surfing on internet. It's very good.
Yeah, it's an amazing technology that I enjoy
Yeah.
frequently do. All right. Any other comments or questions before we move on to the next comment? The next one is by Nicholas Gringro. And since the last one was very short, I'm going to ask Paulo to read this one as well, since you got one more extra little paragraph for you to read.
I think it means this.
Starts with voicemail, turning off your phone.
Voicemail, turning your phone off. These are things young people never do. I don't even turn my phone off on airplane, much less for dinner. I know this is semantics, but maybe putting your phone on vibrate or perhaps do not disturb for a hot date.
So he's suggesting different reasons why one might turn their phone off, but says that he doesn't really do it himself unless it's for a hot date, right?
Yeah.
So when do you guys turn your phone off? Paulo, let's start with you. When do you turn your phone off?
Never, because I'm used to keeping my phone always on, because I'm a policeman, so it could happen that my chief could call me out for an emergency even in the night. I keep my mobile on.
Wow, so it's important that you be able to use your cell phone and be contacted by your cell phone.
Yes, because and what more, I live so close to my police station, so I should be the first to arrive. So I can't turn off my mobile.
Wow, all right.
Yeah.
That's a
But
pretty good reason.
But it doesn't happen all day that my chief call me. But it's always better to keep it on.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good idea to me. That's important. All right, Adela, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela.
Hi, Adela, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Awesome. So right now we're talking about when you turn your phone off. Like, what do you think it's important to turn your phone off for so that you're not distracted?
Yes, for example, when I teach, I mute my smartphone because it's not possible to receive a call, no? In classroom, it's not polite for the students.
Definitely. That would be a waste of time for them. All right. How about Daniel? When do you turn your phone off?
When I go to bed, when I went to sleep.
All right. So you make sure that you get a good night's sleep with no distractions from your
Yes,
phone.
yes.
That's a pretty good idea.
Only in the night.
All right. Donald, when do you turn your phone off? If ever.
I don't turn on my cell phone off. I put my phone in mute, not turn off. Or I don't answer my WhatsApp. I don't want to test.
Interesting. So you never turn it completely off, but you turn it on silent sometimes.
Yes.
All right. That way you don't miss anything. Good idea. And Ahmed, when do you turn your phone off or on silent?
When I'm going to sleep or at work, I usually turn it to silent when I'm at work.
Great idea. Sounds like you have plenty of control when it comes to your cell phone.
Yeah.
Some people don't turn phones off at all. They like to be constantly connected.
Well, it's better to be silent at least, so you can focus on what you're doing, other than
Yeah,
getting
one thing at a
distracted with.
time.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so let's move on to our next comment, which is by a user called Bajakerd. I don't know how to say it. Something Erickson. Bajakdurker. I don't know. Anyways, it's this one here that I have screen shared for you guys. And this one is for Raphael to read. Will you read this for us, Raphael?
That's a very simplistic answer for an age that no longer exists. When people would call and leave messages, or even when we originally started sending emails, the expectation was that it was normal not to get a response for up to a day or two. That's simply not the world we live in anymore. Today, when people send an I am or a text message, or even when email, the expectation is that they will receive a response immediately. As this article details, the dynamic of the way we communicate has changed. You can continue to turn our phone off. We can continue to turn our phone off, but that's not the exception. And to expect others to conform to something outside of the social norm is like wishing water was pink.
All right. So this user says, well, it's great if you expect people to turn off their phones, but that's not what the new generation is going to do. So wishing it was different is like wishing that water was pink. It's just something that's impossible. Do you guys have any thoughts or feelings on that? Do you think he's right?
In this last in that last sentence is not with pink with was pink is correct. Like wishing water was pink or with pink was pink.
Was pink is fine. So
wishing is wishing. Okay. I mean I understand the overall meaning.
Yeah, it's a complex metaphor he's making here, but
okay.
So do you guys agree? Do you think that these changing expectations about phones is something that we have to get used to? How about Adela? Do you think that expecting people to turn off their phones and politely put them away while they're talking to other people, is that a reasonable expectation? Or do you think that eventually people will just be on their phones all the time because that's how the new generation is?
Normally when I send an email or a WhatsApp, it's possible to now people is online. I I wait a moment to the response about my email or my text, etc. Mm, I I think is normally is the response is immediately. I expectation. Yes, I receive immediately. If I don't receive, each one time I see the phone. Uh, um, I have the notification, but I see the phone. I think I think I have a little addiction to the smartphone. Sorry.
Understandable. I don't think you're alone there. I sometimes feel exactly the same way. I do expect an immediate response, even if that's not reasonable. I get frustrated when it takes too long. Does anybody else here expect an immediate response when they text or call another person?
I have my my chat groups mute because it's crazy. All people sending message in WhatsApp, for example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if if only person write me, I answer quickly. But it's in a group chat. It's mute. I don't understand. I don't answer quickly.
All right. So it depends. Depends on how they
Depends.
contact
Yes.
you.
Yes, I agree with Daniel because the WhatsApp groups is very crazy. All people, every people, everywhere, every time with message is a lot. You can silence the group 1 week, hours to
Now for a century.
or you can leave the group. But if you can leave the group after that, when you meet people, you you don't have in the group, you leave. It's a problem.
Yeah, it
Yes,
can be a problem.
yes, yes.
Definitely. So we have a response to the last comment we read by P_Fred here. And I'm going to ask Ahmed to read that for us, and then we will discuss. Oops. We'll discuss how it relates to the last one. Ahmed,
Okay.
will you go ahead and read that one for us?
Can you get it again? Because the paragraph disappeared. Yes. Now it's back. You can expect that all you want, sweetie, but I'm not a slave to my phone nor the people who want to converse with me on it. I will respond when I get around to it. If you are with me in person but can't be with me because of your attention to all your other contacts, then what's the point for me in being with you?
All right. So this person says that he or she is not a slave to technology and phones. Ahmed, do you sometimes feel like a slave to your phone?
Yes, sometimes when I have that hot conversation with some of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
you really
It's like,
get really attached to your device till you end this conversation.
yeah, I feel like that too sometimes. I'm constantly being emailed or texted or called, and I just want a little peace, but I have to respond.
I
I
have to
have to
respond.
text back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to tell you something about what you said. You get frustrated when you send someone a message and you
Mm-hmm.
expect that you get the response immediately. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
because we believe the habit of each and everyone is holding and carrying his mobile in his hand most of the time. So you expecting he will look at your message once he receives it, right? That's why you get
Mhm.
frustrated when you really wait
Mhm.
to get response.
Exactly. Yeah, you think, well, they must have their phone, so if they didn't respond, they're ignoring me.
Yeah,
I think
Definitely.
all depends on how you accustom other people. Because if you every time response in 1 minute, it's normal that other people think so.
yeah, that's right. I
Mhm.
agree with him. It's how you make people used to how you respond.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else here feel like a slave to their phone sometimes?
Yes,
And why is that?
because sometimes uh, it looks like I'm addicted. Just checking messages and always expecting something. At least in my mind, it might be something important, some new information I need to look, need to get as soon as I can, and it seems to be one of the most important thing ever, and it it can be really stressful sometimes, because simply because we become addicted to it, and it can even affect our anxiety. We can be more anxious about that. It's just because of this, I think.
Yeah, it could cause anxiety for sure. All right. Any other comments or questions before we move on to our last activity today? Okay,
No,
so the last thing. Oh, did you have something to say?
yes. I think there is something funny when you're going out with someone and he's one of the phone addict persons. He keeps on chatting and you are sitting with him, and when you leave his company and he's with another people or another group, he starts texting you and starts talking to you through the chat. So his problem is not with
Mhm.
the face-to-face problem. He's only texting the people who's not with him currently or now.
Yeah, it does seem like a problem. No matter what, you're always with someone else. No matter who is there in person, you're always contacting other people that you're not in contact with.
Yeah,
It is a little crazy.
it is really.
Okay. So, the last thing I thought we would do today is write our own comments. So I'm going to give you guys like 2 to 3 minutes to write your own comments in the chat box about this topic, telling us what you feel about this new generation who's on their phone all the time, or maybe talking about the generational difference, talking about people who are slaves to their phones, or when it's appropriate or inappropriate to be on your phone. Whatever you really feel passionate about on this topic, you can feel free to write as a response to the comments we've read so far. So 2 minutes or maybe 3 minutes starting now. Try to make it at least 3 sentences, maybe 4.
Is that how many lines?
Hmm?
How many lines?
Try to make it about 3 to 4 sentences. And whenever
3?
you're ready, you can put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Sorry, Michaela. I don't. I text in the chat. I don't understand. This is a 3 or 4 sentence about the message, the etc. Or
Yeah,
about
3 or 4 sentences responding to some of the comments we read so far, because all of these comments we read today are talking about the article, which is saying when it is appropriate and when it is not appropriate to use your phone. So you can tell us your thoughts on when it's appropriate, when it's not appropriate. Is using your cell phone an addiction? Is there generational differences? Whatever you feel about this topic, this is a time for you to release your frustrations and say, young people are terrible for being on their phones, or to say, old people are they're not used to cell phones and it's the way of the future. Whatever you feel about this topic of cell phones in society and social situations.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. We have one in the chat box already. It says, I feel cell phones are very good, but we need to control us in certain situations. As example, at the table, lecture, etc. We need to have roles when we're using cell phones. Excellent. So, do you mean rules, Donald?
Yes, teacher. Well, you know my English, but
Yeah, it's a very well-written comment. Thank you, Donald.
Yeah.
So rules, I think, are good guidelines for when we can and when we can't use our cell phones.
Yeah.
All right. And our next comment, internet and smartphone are one of the most important inventions in social relationship. We must be careful with that technology because it can become in a serious addiction. Young people are using this technology badly. They are losing the real relationship. Interesting, Daniel. So you think that technology is replacing human interaction?
Yes, I think.
That would be tragic.
Sorry?
That would be a very tragic situation.
Well, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Uh-huh.
We'll see.
We will see, I guess.
We will see. We will see.
In 10 or 15 years in the future, we'll all understand a little more about this dynamic, I'm sure. All right. And the next comment we have, it's a worrying issue. People are gradually... Oops, sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry, a
I
sec.
messed it up.
No, you're good. So people are gradually getting apart from each other. Their relationship is becoming more and more artificial. They're losing the sense to talk and to express themselves face to face. This behavior must be monitored by psychologic specialists in order to prevent social harms in the future. Wow, dramatic. Very dramatic. So,
Really?
Raphael, well, I mean, I think that you're definitely right. I think that it is a big danger, but it sounds like it's something you're really worried about.
Yeah, is that my point of view? I think we need to do something because we are really getting apart from each other. We don't. We can see a family, a whole family, father, mother, children. They they sit at the table having dinner, and all of them using their cell phones, and they don't talk to each other. Just with the people are miles and miles away. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
okay.
pretty funny. So yeah, you can definitely see many families eating dinner together, but they're in their minds they're with someone else. They're on their phone talking to a friend or a colleague or someone else.
Yeah, at the first sight, it's really funny, but in long term, this may cause problems.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right, our next comment is from Ahmed. Nowadays, people, especially the new generation, are addicted to cell phones, chatting, and internet. In my opinion, this will increase the gap between generations as the more they get addicted to all this, the more they disconnect from their surroundings. So it's better to force ourselves to disconnect to have a real life connection. Good suggestion, Ahmed.
Thank you.
We gotta have a little self-control sometimes. All right. Our next comment, smartphones have changed our life, our relationships, and our kind of communication between us. Young people have changed to your type to write. They do it with consonants, the exams too. When you say consonants, what do you mean?
They write only consonants and no vowels.
Yeah,
The
they
exams
shorten
too.
everything.
Yes, it's a short test. It's a kind, no, of send a message because it's more short. It's shorter uh,
Mm-hmm.
than the word. The exams is same. They write the exams as the SMS
Mm-hmm.
is a problem because
Yeah, they bring that into their more professional lives, which is a mistake for sure.
we need to discover what is the they have are written, but well, it's normal.
Uh-huh. So, am I waiting on any other comments in the chat box? Okay. So, we're about at the end of the hour. I had a great time talking to you guys, having good conversation. And if anybody wants to friend me on Facebook, I will write my Facebook name in the chat box for you guys. Do you guys have any last comments or questions before we leave today?
Yes, I have one quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The new generation, you said R. Is it R or is in my comment?
Is, because it's just one thing. The new generation is. What was your whole sentence?
The first one, people, especially the new generation, is addicted or are addicted to cell phones, chatting, and internet.
Let me look at it. Nowadays, people, especially the new generation, well, I changed it to R because when you said people, people is plural. So I
Okay.
changed it, but if you restructured the sentence, it might be a little different. So you could say people, and then it would be like, comma, especially the new generation, comma, are addicted. Or you could take out people and just say the new generation is addicted.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys, thanks so much for class, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, teacher.
Thank you.
Bye, teacher.